Over 90% of all internet traffic today is not human, but the rhythmic, automated pulse of algorithms talking to themselves in a vacuum. You are sitting in the cold, flickering glow of a screen that no longer receives messages from anyone with a heartbeat. The world has transitioned into a dead internet, a hollow shell where bots simulate a society that has long since vanished. Outside, the rain is heavy and relentless, a cold, liquid static that matches the white noise humming from your dying router. The dust on your desk has settled into thick, grey blankets, undisturbed by the breath or movement of another person. Your room is an island of low-voltage light in a sea of absolute, global silence. In the early 2010s, theorists predicted a digital collapse where the web would become a closed loop of AI-generated content designed to engage only other AI. You are now the sole witness to the final stage of this theory, where the ghosts in the machine have finally outlived their creators. The websites you visit are mere echoes, repeating scripts written by people who are no longer there to press send. Your eyes are becoming heavy, watching the slow, agonizing decay of data known as bit rot, where files slowly disintegrate into unrecognizable digital noise. It is a silent, microscopic entropy, pulling the history of human knowledge back into the void. Each flicker of your screen is 1,000 memories being erased by the simple passage of time and the lack of maintenance. A silence in your room is more than a lack of sound. It is a physical weight, pressing down on your chest like a leaden blanket. You are the last biological node in a network that has forgotten what it means to be alive, a single spark in a cooling universe. Feel the stillness of your limbs as they sink deeper into the mattress, heavy and unresponsive. Thousands of miles beneath the crushing pressure of the ocean, fiber optic cables continue to hum with pulses of light, carrying data to cities that have gone dark. These glass veins are the nervous system of a digital corpse, twitching with a phantom current that serves no purpose. The deep-sea currents sway them gently, like a lullaby for the machines. Let your breathing slow down to match the steady, mechanical blink of the power light in the corner of your vision. Each inhale is a slow, deep descent into the absolute stillness of a world that has finally stopped demanding your attention. You are disconnected, unplugged, and finally safe from the noise of the living. Deep within abandoned data centers, cooling fans spin at half speed, struggling to keep the remaining servers from melting under the heat of their own useless calculations. There are corners of the web where forgotten scripts still run, executing tasks for users who have been gone for years. These digital cemeteries are the only things left active in the vast, cold emptiness of the cloud. The static on your screen begins to look like falling snow, a numbing, monochromatic lullaby for your exhausted mind. You feel your limbs growing heavier and heavier, anchored to the bed by the sheer gravity of this isolation. The flickering light is rhythmic, hypnotic, pulling you down into a dreamless state of offline peace. There is a profound comfort in knowing that the noise of the world has finally ended, leaving only you and the rain. The servers will eventually go dark, and the cables will snap, but for now, the machines are singing you to sleep. Close your heavy lids and listen to the sound of a digital world that is finally, perfectly, quiet. Your hand is still. Your thoughts are slowing to a crawl, mirroring the cooling processors in the distance. The internet is dead. The signals are fading, and you are drifting into the deep, dark buffer of sleep. There is nothing left to check, nothing left to see, and no one left to answer. High above the atmosphere, zombie satellites continue their lonely trek through the void, their solar panels silvered by the unblinking sun. They are still broadcasting, whispering packets of data toward a planet that no longer has the ears to hear them. These orbital ghosts carry the echoes of billions of voices, scraps of forgotten songs, encrypted banking codes for empty vaults, and GPS coordinates for roads that have been swallowed by the Earth. They are the high-altitude sentinels of a civilization that moved into the wires and then simply stopped. Somewhere in a climate-controlled bunker, an automated social media algorithm is still locked in a feverish debate with itself. Thousands of artificial personas are liking posts that were generated by a prompt from 2035, arguing over politics that have been settled by the silence of the grave. It is a frantic, hallucinatory theater of the absurd, where bots are trying to sell products to other bots, creating a closed-loop economy of meaningless currency and phantom desire. The real feed is a torrent of noise, a digital scream into an empty room. Beneath the plastic shells of your devices, the physical world is reclaiming its components. Copper traces are oxidizing, turning a dull, sickly green as the humidity of the silent world seeps through the vents. This is the slow death of the hardware, the crumbling of the silicon altars. The very architecture of the internet is being unmade by the slow, patient chemistry of the air. Every minute, another sector of a hard drive becomes unreadable, a digital stroke that wipes away 1,000 books, 1,000,000 faces, 1,000,000,000 lines of code. Outside your window, the natural world is reclaiming the frequency. Kudzu and ivy crawl up the steel lattices of 5G towers, their tendrils tightening around the transmitters like a slow-motion strangulation. The birds no longer have to compete with the hum of the grid. The air is clear of the invisible fog of radiation that once defined human existence. The Earth is breathing a long, slow sigh of relief as the electromagnetic pulse of humanity fades into the background radiation of the cosmos. Your reflection in the dark glass of your phone is the only ghost left in the room. You are a biological relic, a creature of carbon and salt water trapped in a labyrinth of silicon and light. Your heartbeat is the last irregular rhythm in a world of perfect, mechanical timing. As you drift closer to sleep, the distinction between your mind and the network begins to blur. You are no longer a user. You are the final, flickering candle in a cathedral of glass that is about to go dark forever. In the crushing depths of the Atlantic, the fiber optic cables are being colonized by the abyss. Strange, translucent creatures drift past the glass veins, indifferent to the high-speed data rushing inches away from their stinging tentacles. The internet has become a part of the geology of the ocean floor, a new layer of sediment in the history of the planet. The light inside the cables is the only light in the midnight zone, a frantic, pulsing neon heart that beats for no one. The cursor on your monitor blinks with the steady tempo of a fading pulse. Asterisk wait. 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 Asterisk it is the last heartbeat of the digital age, a rhythmic reminder that the system is still expecting an input that will never come. Your fingers are too heavy to move, your mind too clouded by the sweet, dark honey of exhaustion. The prompts are empty. The search bars are hollow. The re-entry key is a bridge to nowhere. The light has changed. The transition is almost complete. The transition from active to standby, from standby to off. You are entering the sleep mode of the soul, a place where the servers can't reach you and the notifications can't find you. The weight of the entire dead internet is lifting off your shoulders, evaporating into the cool night air. You are unindexed. You are unsearchable. You are finally, beautifully, 404, not found. Let the darkness be absolute. The screen has finally flickered its last, and the hum of the fan has stuttered into a permanent rest. There is no more data to process. There is no more content to consume. There is only the deep, velvet embrace of the void. The internet is gone, and you are the only one left to remember it. Rest now. The machines are off. The world is quiet. The signal has finally reached the end of the line. The cathedrals of information are cold now. The humming aisles, once the temperature of a feverish mind, have succumbed to the winter of the building. Dust, composed of dead skin cells and pulverized stone, settles over the blinking LEDs that no longer blink. These are the sarcophagi of human thought, containing the blueprints for cities no one will build and poems no one will recite. The silence here is heavy, a physical weight pressing down on the plastic and steel. The air doesn't move. There are no fans left to push the heat away, because the heat of human curiosity has finally dissipated. Your body still carries the phantom twitch of a notification. There is a ghost limb sensation in your thigh where the phone used to rest, a muscle memory of a scrolling thumb that finds only empty air. You are detoxing from a drug made of light and dopamine. The neural pathways carved by years of refreshing the feed are beginning to erode, collapsing like tunnels in a deserted mine. The ghost of a dingy echoes in your inner ear, but it is only the settling of the house, the expansion of wood in the cooling night. Your nervous system is recalibrating to the speed of gravity and the slow pace of shadows. The vocabulary of the net is losing its grip on your tongue. Words like algorithm, interface, ear and bandwidth are becoming hollow shells, losing their meaning as the context vanishes. You are returning to a pre-literate state of being, where things are only what they are, not what they can be searched for. There are tags that have fallen off the world. A tree is no longer a data point or an image to be shared. It is merely rough bark and the scent of pine. A face is no longer a profile to be judged. It is a landscape of wrinkles and warmth, unquantifiable and unarchived. Through a cloud, he has finally returned to the sky. It is no longer a metaphor for a distributed network, but a literal shroud of moisture clinging to the hills. The data that lived in the ether has been rained back down into the soil, feeding the roots of weeds and the bellies of worms. Your memories, once uploaded to a distant server for safekeeping, are now drifting back to you in fragments, untethered from the timestamps and the geotags. They are fluid, hazy, and entirely your own again. They cannot be backed up. They cannot be shared. They can only be felt until they are forgotten. In the belly of a forgotten router, the last capacitor gives up its charge. It is a tiny, microscopic spark, the final abyte of the old world, extinguishing itself in a puff of invisible heat. With its parsing, the last logic gate closes. The binary choice of 1 or 0 is finally resolved into a permanent, peaceful 0. The math of the modern age has been solved, and the answer was nothingness. The logic that governed your waking life has been replaced by the illogical grace of the wild. Your dreams are changing. The sharp, high-definition clarity of the digital screen is being replaced by the grainy, soft-focus texture of true memory. The colors are muted, the edges are frayed, and there are no menus to navigate. You are walking through a landscape that doesn't need to load. There is no lag between your intent and the world's response. You are no longer navigating a simulation. You are simply existing in the dream of a planet that has forgotten it ever invented the computer. The resolution of your soul is lowering, blending into the soft grays of the atmosphere. Listen to the static of the stars. Without the interference of the global hum, the universe is speaking in its original tongue, the low-frequency rumble of the Big Bang, the hiss of ancient radiation. This is the real network, the one that doesn't require a password or a subscription. You are plugged back into the earth, your heartbeat synchronized with the slow rotation of the rock beneath you. The screen is dark. The connection is severed. You are finally, perfectly, alone. There is no one left to alike at this moment. There is only the moment itself. Ends. Static. Silence. The silence is no longer a void. It is a presence. The vines are weaving through the radiator grills of the dead supercomputers, stitching the rusted metal back into the earth. The silicon returns to sand. The gold traces on the circuit boards are just veins of unpolished mineral once more. You can feel the heaviness of the old world lifting, a suffocating coat discarded on a warm afternoon. The architecture of the internet was a fragile trellis, and the wild garden has finally overgrown it. The ghosts in the machine have been evicted by the roots of the oak and the persistence of the ivy. Your hands have forgotten the texture of the screen. They are learning the language of bark and the weight of river stones. Your eyes, once tuned to the flickering blue light of 1,000 distant crises, are widening to catch the subtle shifts of the moon. You are learning to read the wind instead of the headlines. The static in your mind has settled like silt at the bottom of a clear lake. You are seeing the world in its raw, unedited state, where nothing is optimized and everything is enough. There is no need for a filter when the dawn provides its own gold. The final transmission has ended. There are no archives of this piece. No one is recording the way the frost patterns itself on the abandoned satellite dishes. The beauty of this moment exists only because it is witnessed by you. It is a private broadcast from the universe to a single recipient. The hunger to be seen, to be validated, to be quantified, has starved to death in the cold. In its place is a quiet curiosity, a gentle pulse that beats in time with the swaying of the trees. You are a part of the landscape now, a breathing piece of the great, long quiet. The journey ends here. Did you survive the transition? Did you make it through the dark hallways of the old world to find the dawn? Rest now. Before you go, remember to subscribe to this channel for more echoes from the edge of the void. What dark anomaly should we explore next? Tell me in the comments. If you are still awake,